Welcome to the Timeless Marketing Podcast with Brian Kurtz, your connection to insights from some of the top direct response marketing minds on the planet.
Hey, it's Brian Kurtz here, host of the Timeless Marketing Podcast. Today's episode is a clip from one of the 2-hour calls inside Titan's Accelerator, my private mentorship program for direct response marketers. Before we get to that, I have one question for you. Do you have a marketing insurance policy? If you don't, you need one. And that's why I created Titan's Accelerator, which is one of the most giving communities and serves as the de facto board of advisors and marketing insurance policy for over 250 of the best and brightest direct response marketers, copywriters, media buyers, marketing agencies, senior executives, anyone in direct response marketing who is committed to growing and scaling their business. The bottom line, you don't have to grow your business alone. And you don't need to spend tens of thousands of dollars either. Titan's Accelerator is 1/10 of the price of most groups of its kind. I know because I hosted a group that was over $20,000 a year. If you want to see how Titan's Accelerator can help you grow and scale your specific business, go to briankurtz.net/help. That's BRIANKURTZ.net/help. And with a private membership, you'll receive access to the full presentation from today's episode, along with the Q&A and discussion that followed. As an added bonus, you'll receive access to a vault filled with many more private calls just like this one. Again, if you want to see if Titan's Accelerator is a fit for you with no obligation, go to briankurtz.net/help. That's BRIANKURTZ.net/help. And feel free to email me directly. I respond to every email with questions about this episode or just to say hi at brian@briankurtz.net. Now on to today's episode.
And last but not least, Mike, you're gonna share something relative to the breakout rooms, and then, the floor is yours. I just want to say a couple of things about Mike. We've been kidding him, but he is one of the old guard. And interestingly, I've been in Genius Network with Mike. I've been in Strategic Coach with Mike. We spent many hours at the airport waiting for our flights, lamenting about the past and lamenting about the future, and then not lamenting at all because we knew we were just in a great place, just because we were together and we were sharing so much. And Mike has came full circle. I know in Strategic Coach, he had been working on a different kind of business model for himself. He may want to talk about that. I'm not going to force him to, but it was more of a, basically going for the big gun businesses and basically built, because he's built so many businesses. Again, if you've done it, you have an obligation to teach it. And that became one of his signature things for a while. But then, you can't keep his hands out of the stew. He is always so curious and what's going on in technology, with video, with email, with everything to do with online marketing, that we're never going to not enjoy him as a contributor in the space. But he had his foot in both areas for a while, and that was an interesting journey that you've been through, which you're still on, which you'll be on for the rest of your life. So anyway, he's a really good friend. I appreciate him very much. I'm really glad you consented to come on this call. We added this call because this was a date that he could do. It's the only date he could do before like November. So I said, let's just make another call. And so, and it's been a great call already, but Mike, you're going to make it even better. Mike Koenigs.
Brian Kurtz, I love you, man. I'm so
glad
you too. You're healthy, first of all. And thank you very much for this. And for all of you, old friends, new friends, I am right now in Todos Santos, Mexico. So hopefully my connection will be kind. We are in the process of potentially moving down here part-time, and I'm considering building a compound and a studio And if we have time, I'll show you a framework that changed my mindset completely on this, and I teach it now. And the other part I will say, Brian, we can take a couple questions.
Yeah, let's have some questions.
Having a product that is bought or sold, not bought, okay? And that is super important because products that are bought are oftentimes commoditized. But products that are sold require an education, and a lot of people don't even know the solution exists. They just experience the pain, and anytime there's a pain that's present and nagging and annoying, but you can't put your finger on it, puts you in a position of spectacular power and depth, and thinking about how can I have relationships with people I love who love to invest in their growth and their transformation, and that is satisfying, because again, we dream of creating something that's scalable and monthly recurring revenue and blah 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 blah, and then one day you wake up and you're like, I just created a hell beast. I'm sitting in Satan's anus every day with operational nightmares and the federal government driving a Mack truck up my rump. And look, I had colorectal cancer. I don't need anything else shoved up there for the rest of my life.
Exactly.
I'm good,
Yeah.
So anyway, you want to move on now?
Yeah, let's get some questions. I just want everybody to appreciate, if you're not already, what Mike has shared already. I mean, it's because of who he is that he has this message. I mean, this is one of the real OGs of internet marketing. A guy who sold to millions and millions of people, who is now, I'm not saying on the backside of his career, he's just on moving his career journey along. But the wisdom that he shared, it was like hidden in plain sight. And I just loved everything you shared, Mike. It was really, it's so powerful when the messenger is you talking this story. That's what makes the difference.
My pleasure. I love you, man. I love everything about you. I always have. Thank you.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love everything about me. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, you're the best hugger I know. So who are we going to take first here?
All right, Colin.
Mike. Hey, Mike. Thanks. Thank you. Between the monkey wagon and Satan's anus, I got a lot from your conversation so far. And dude, one of the things that I got from your talk is you think in massive possibilities. Number one is you're a maximizer. You see the big picture. What's the biggest opportunity? You define the actions that can maximize that opportunity. And my question is around the courage to implement those actions. It sounded like when you're talking about your arc, it was like, well, I won here and then I won again and then like now you're coming to the terms of like, was this really fulfilling? And I'm still in that arc of maximizing the possibilities and sometimes struggle with the courage to implement the actions. Yeah. So I'd love to hear some of your mindset around, flexing that, what is it called? Like the, not stupid or ignorant, but that to turn off the mechanism that says you can't.
Yeah. So we want to exercise the possibility muscle.
Let's exercise the possibility muscle, man.
Just made that up, but what the fuck, right?
Yeah.
All right. So here's an idea. So full disclosure, I don't know if this is age, timing, wisdom, but I say no to so much stuff right now. And the honest to God truth is I just don't want to fail my body, my soul, my family, or the intimacy I have with the people that matter most. Okay. So when in doubt, the answer is no. But there's two things I've recently done, and I can bring them up on screen, but I'm also going to put them in chat for you because I realized something. And again, do you want to give me an example of something you're dreaming about, and we can use a real life example to get there? Or do you want me to show you two samples of something that I tried and I'm going to pursue because they're incremental wins. And that is really the key to the flexing the possibility muscle.
It's a great question. I think that just for context is I write books for service-based business owners to get leads. I call it books that get leads.
Yeah.
And
I love that business. I love that business. I love that business.
Yeah.
You won big in that business too. How many books did you write?
18. Well, we had 1,800 business owners go through Publish and Profit. I've written 13, and all of them were basically designed to produce $1 million in 100 days. That was the mindset behind them. So, and look, they aren't long-lasting books. They were purely tactical sales stories embedded in between two covers for the record. But it sounds very similar to what you're talking about. So help us dream your dream together, and let's see if we can get to a destination. We'll, set a little timer. But what is it that you're struggling with? What are you afraid of right now? What illusion do you believe that it absolutely isn't true because the universe just wants you to be happy and connected and loved? Because you are a divine being, ageless and timeless.
You're actually answering these questions, or is it?
I'm asking you that question.
You're asking me this question. Yeah. I want to see the biggest impact that it can have for, it's one thing to do this as a service and be paid a fee for it, and that to be the income model, which isn't scalable.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to be able to define an industry where it's the beginning, middle, and end of the impact, where I can maximize the income that comes in from it, of course, but also do that in what you're talking about with within an industry or with people that I love, who get it, who get direct response, who are,
It sounds like you're going to be Mike Koenigs when you grow up, Colin. That's what I'm hearing.
I wouldn't mind. I would.
Yeah. Well, we'll have a conversation when we're done, because I need a writer right now who writes
there you go.
books and my client books. So you might have just helped. You might have just helped me help you. But let me give you the framework, because I see everyone saying, "Give me the framework. Give me the framework." I'm going to teach you a framework that can be a mind bender, and it may help the next three, because I know we have Rob and Ginger and Teresa coming.
Yeah. Now, what's your timing, Mike? We can go over 1:00, but if you can.
Great. I totally can. I'm here in freaking paradise, and I can do whatever the hell I want. I'm free. So I'm yours as long as you'll have me. Okay.
Yeah. And the thing is, this is being recorded and it goes out to everybody in the group.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
So let's do this. Thank God the connection's been good. So let me give you the framework here. And first of all, I got to go boom. And then I'm going to add me up here. So this is framework number 1. And I call it the 6 M's. All right. And some of this is going to be super basic, I know, but it's super important. And Colin, you can bop in anytime. So basically the first step is mindset. And if any of you are familiar with strategic coach, this is the bottom line. What you're looking for are what are the non-negotiable values that you have. And Colin would say, I want someone who bling, bling, bling. Like for me, I know, for example, that my ideal perfect client are going to be business owners and founders of B2B businesses that are doing $3 to $50 million, and they are the check writer, and they don't have to go to anyone for permission. Now, they also invest in their own development, so they're actively involved in a strategic coach, a Genius Network, an EO, YPO, meaning they're belongers. These are people who value shortcuts. They will invest in wisdom. And I also know that historically they are 8, 9, or 10 quick starts. I'll occasionally take a 7 quick start if you're familiar with Colby. But we'd make a list of the values, non-negotiable values. These are lifestyle. They'll crush your soul if you allow someone to take advantage of it. And that is really a big part of this. You got to draw a line. Okay, next up. It's who is your market? Now, we've all been through the design of your ideal perfect customer before. But, again, I know that mine are usually 45 and above, male and female. Usually, the income. So this is the demographic psychographic. Demo psycho, Psycho. Okay, great. Next, what is our model? Now, in your case right now, Colin, as an example, your model is I will write books for service-oriented businesses so they can da-da-da-da-da. But you're selling a what and you're selling a how. Remember, we all need to be in the result, outcome, benefit business. Yes, I know this is basic stuff, but we forget it all the freaking time. So what I do in my model, my big promise to people is I will give you one of two big things. Okay. So if you're a founder, and then here's your business. If you're a founder, I'm going to help you build an Elon style brand, personal brand. So you become a multiplier in your business because an Elon brand CEO can increases access and value, even when you want to sell it and get out of the way. Steve Jobs died. Apple is a $2 trillion company, and the soul of Steve, meaning his values, remain. In general, not always. We could argue that but in general, you can't argue the success. So the whole idea is what you need to become is a multiplier, a voice piece. What is your message? How's it going to amplify? Very consistent with Colin. Now, on the business side, what I do is I find money you don't see. Oftentimes, I help you monetize your IP, create offers that are 10 times to 25 times bigger, and figure out the message and a simpler way of getting the product, get the message out there and do deals. That'll be the second framework I'm going to give you, okay? Anyway, that's the model. How do you make money? Next, this is a big duh for all of you. We've been through this before. What's the message? I did a podcast episode with Dan Sullivan years ago, and it's called the Civitas moment, the one-word offer. Short version is what are the fewest number of words your perfect ideal client and customer needs to hear so they raise their hand and say, fuck yeah, I'm in. All right? And this comes down to great storytelling that's future-focused, and it's the traditional. I think the hero's journey is the best way. Once upon a time, there lived someone just like you who had big problems, just like you do. Tried failed. Tried. Along came a wizard who's just like me and my product and service. Helped you through there. Showed you the secrets. Gave you the shortcut. We applied the magic wand, the crystal fairy dust. You've got it now, and you lived happily ever after. Amen. Thank you, Jesus. Okay. So Gandalf, Moses, Jesus, however you want to roll it up. Okay. And then the media. So now I love video, I love mobile, but I don't care. So whatever works best to get them to raise their hands. And I'm going to give you a really, really powerful model. That's the second framework. And then finally, the multipliers. Okay. I've come up with, we all have strategies. So a little while ago, every one of us, if you're in direct response, you've got your little secret toolbox. David Foley loves paper, loves print, loves direct response. Okay. Colin, you just talked about books. Okay. Whatever the media is that works. Okay. So let me show you one of my favorite multipliers, and I'll make sure that I give you, I've got a supplemental video to go along with this that I'll give you. So far, everyone with me? Raise your hand, thumbs up and all that. Great. So this is the ambassador model. Here's the basic idea. So in the middle, we have who do you want to be a hero to use strategic coach language. That is our perfect client customer with unflappable values. The next circle are, if you answer the question, what affinity groups do they belong to? Now, in my case, Strategic Coach, Genius Network, EOYPO. Those are great. Now, what do they have in common? Shared common values. Okay. You get kicked out of the group if you don't share the same values, if you exercise those. Now, on the next one is going to be the influencer. So imagine for a moment if someone who knows the founder of the affinity group says, hey, Colin, there's a whole bunch of service-oriented businesses. All of them are right to hear about your books. I just made a call. Founder wants you to do a one-day workshop. You're going to teach your model and be able to present an offer. There's 1,000 members, 250 are already in to show up. Probably enough work for the next 4 years for you. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. But there's something more supreme than this.
Better.
Right?
More.
What is it?
What is it?
Is it everyone, wait for it, Bueller. Okay. So we've got an ambassador. So if I said to you right now, who is someone who all of these potential prospects trusts more than anything? And a lot of people say, Tony Robbins, Oprah, Elon, Think of whoever our version of God stands on a stage, and in it are the founders of a whole bunch of affinity groups. Okay. Yeah. They're all there. And in there are a whole bunch of influencers who know other founders of affinity groups as well. And we'll say the Pope stands up, or whoever it is. So whoever your ambassador is. Anyone come to mind who every one of the founders you've ever worked with or worked for or want to work with actually trust and admire, believe?
Probably not off the top of my head.
Let's just call him the Pope. All right.
Sure.
Got to get Pope on a rope, Pope on the phone. So the Pope stands up and he says, in a moment, we're all going to take a break from our holy exercise that we've been doing here. But in the back, right past the final pew, is a man named Colin Campbell. And I'll tell you what, if you want to create a solution that will put you in touch with the best clients and customers you've ever had at a lower cost of acquisition in a way that they are prepared to work for you, they've got their wallets out, ready to stroke checks, I want you to go talk to that guy. And he's going to say 5 words to you. You're going to say yes. You're going to write out a check for whatever he asks for. And then when we're done with the break, you're going to come back in here. And by the way, I stake my reputation on the fact that Colin is your man. And if you decide not to do that, you've been excommunicated from my holy church. In fact, you're no longer allowed in my religion. All right. That's what the Pope says. So whoever the Pope is for you, that's your magic ambassador. So the point of this story is the mental model I use right now to think bigger than anything is, what is the story that the ambassador would need to tell the hero? So you have to package the right story. And then what's the story they need to hear to say, I will risk my reputation for you. Okay. And it's got to be easy for them to tell the influencer of the affinity groups. But the whole point is, somewhere there is a relationship, there is a connection, there is a story that can be told that can influence the influencers and give you access to all the clients and customers you'll ever need for the rest of your professional career, and bypass the bullshit. And my theme of the year is what is simpler and fuck funnels. I fucking hate them.
Bullshit bypassing. I love it.
I think social media is a toilet. And if you don't want to get sick, don't lick toilets. I don't like the taste of shit, so I don't lick toilets. And I think it's where the dumbest of the dumb, malicious stupidity exists right now. I know that sounds a little angry, but we did get past an election cycle, didn't we, ladies and gentlemen? And if there isn't malicious stupidity in this country right now, I don't know what is. So anyway, this is a
great. It's not only a great framework, but the way that you frame the framework in terms of, finding an ambassador that, aligns with you is so much easier than going out. Again, it comes back to where you are in your life too. Going out to, the 8 versus the 8 billion. Mm-hmm. And I think that, but you made it so tangible and palatable, and you put it into a frame that it's not that complicated, but you got to be, and the term that you had early on, your first box, non-negotiables, is one of the most, and it's coach speak to some degree, but Jeff Walker talks about it, a lot of other people talk about it, and Barry and Blue talk about it. It's what are your non-negotiables? What are you not going to, and once you if you start there, that's the foundation. I think that's a fantastic mindset. I'm so glad that you laid that out for us, Mike. I think.
Thanks for listening to the Timeless Marketing Podcast with Brian Kurtz. Visit briankurtz.net and click podcast at the top of the page for a full transcript and show notes. If you are interested in working with Brian personally inside of Titans Accelerator, go to briankurtz.net/help to see how Titans can help you grow and scale your business. That's briankurtz.net/help.